remember that they're changing my voice and trigger warning or whatever you want to call it. In this video, I talk about things that are very serious life issues, sexual abuse, what have you. Okay? I've never been held down and raped or something, but I talk about very serious things here. Okay, so let's talk about what's on the screen, and we'll talk about that, and let's wrap it up. And I urge you all to listen all the way through and to really think about how serious this is. And yes, you live in a rape culture planet. America's no exception. Any country in the world is no exception. Rape by deception, human trafficking, the works. And I urge you to consider that at any given time, someone's probably being raped, and that energy is, and that spirit is in the air, it's in the atmosphere, it's out there. That's part of why people are acting like animals, because there's so much evil going on and so much hypocrisy come from the governments and law enforcement, the militaries of the world, and the groups that are supposed to stop it, the churches, mosques, synagogues, you name it, temples, various movements, New Age, light workers, what have you. They're just helping it. And it's a fucking disgrace. Okay? And part of what I need to do is to tell you these things. That's why I made a series to help you understand why I'm right to say it this way. It's called Jesus Righteously Insults or something like this. It's in my playlist on my Persecuted by Righteous channel. Okay, and keep in mind the word racist is like the word rapist. And understand the implications. And also the wordplay rape, race. Okay, so not every rape is about race. But as we think about the psychological factors, there's various ways that these things are intertwined, interconnected, integrated, what have you. It's a domino effect. Okay, really quickly, I decided to put up a picture of the trophy that I had since '97, and it's it's kind of dusty and dirty, and I decided to keep the dust on so you know that I've had it for a while, and I've cleaned it over the years since then. So that dust and dirt is probably from the last maybe 5 years or so, and you can see it says Grand Champion as the position that was awarded to me, or the place I got in the tournament, right? Number one, what have you. Now, there was other things going on at that tournament, right? But, that was the sparring and what have you and so on and so forth. Okay. And to make a long story short, right, I was only a gold belt at the time. And I've told the story about this thing a lot of times, but that trophy isn't like my life achievement. It's not, it's my top martial arts challenge, and wasn't even the first challenge. I had another challenge in 2012, and then I had individual challenges like to Mike Kyle, to Floyd Mayweather, who's this blonde guys, these guys who are the boxers, I forgot their name. Okay, so I have various challenges over the years. Okay. And I tried hard to get the message out, what have you. And, you know how that goes, right? But, won't you when all men speak well of you, because that's how their ancestors spoke of the false prophets. So also I want to make sure that, you've heard this one part of the story when I said, that I was being discharged from Santa Cruz County Jail. Also, I wanted to make sure you heard this one part of the story when I was being discharged from Santa Cruz County Jail. Basically, the blacks there had said to me that they wanted me to do something, anything, to get myself locked up more, because they felt that the Sureños were about to make a move on them over the table incident, and they blamed me. And of course, I think that was just being put in my head. I don't think they made a move on them. It doesn't make sense to me. But they're, part of it has to do with structuring, okay? Because there was people from different black gangs in there, right? Bloods and Crips, and they're from different places. I don't think more than maybe 2 people knew each other in that whole place in terms of from the streets or something like that, right? They only knew each other from having done time together in that area. So there wasn't, a BGF structure, Kumi 415, or some Crip car or Blood car thing going on. It was just like the blacks. Okay, and in this kind of way, where the Sureños had that kind of uniformity, right? They were Sureños, right, with a strong structure. So I don't think that they looked at it as, okay, this, that, and the other thing. And again, why I bring this up again, the core point of this section of my story is to talk about Santa Cruz and the connections between Satan's Cruz. And I wanted to bring up one more thing too. there's things that I remember after a while. I say, oh yeah, so this one black guy was there. He was related to he looked like, sometimes I want to say related because it's hard to say why they look like each other. He looked like somebody who I knew from East San Jose, I was acquainted with. He looked like this one gay guy who had catfished me on the internet, okay? And I seen someone looking like him in San Jose on a bicycle, smiling. And it seemed like that guy had went out of his way to set me up and so on and so forth. Okay, so trying to promise me, some kind of striptease or something and trying to, play me out on the internet. Now, again, some of this stuff is kind of awkward, kind of embarrassing, but this is real life, right? This is not some fairy tale Bible story. It shouldn't even be for kids. People should know the truth. Kids get raped because you don't tell them the truth. And you say things like, I don't want them to grow up too fast, and then they get raped by the Boy Scouts, get raped by their stepdad, raped by their babysitter, raped by their teacher, raped by, the people in church, and on and on. They get raped all the time because you won't tell them the truth. And because you won't have a strong martial order for society that's logical and fair and considers the sabotage from colonialism, that considers all the cheating going on, all the privilege, all the nepotism and favoritism, right? You people are very irrational, you're very temperamental, and you're not fair to people, okay? It's not fair to look at this story and say, hey, this guy brought up this very important issue, how he was a victim of catfishing, and let's make fun of him. That's some bitch-ass fucking shit. Let me tell you something else, too. The word catfish, one way they describe Narmer, the first uniting pharaoh of Egypt, he said to unite the land, Narmer, a.k.a. Mene, he was described and symbolized by a catfish, because a catfish is said to be very kind of fierce, okay? So it's aimed at me, right? Horus. They're trying to make me, be a different sexual orientation. They're trying to turn me out like these females who are victimized in this country. Okay, so you might think, ha, some gay guy catfished you on the internet. Man, fuck all that shit. Okay, that's a problem. That's a problem in this country. Your kids are getting catfished and they're getting kidnapped. And if people, are afraid of people talking about this and being embarrassed, then people are going to still get kidnapped and sextortion and all this shit that's going on. Okay, and they set guys up to want to rape females, to want to sextort them. And that's an important issue too. So you people need to tell the truth about these things. And you need to stop being clown-ass motherfuckers and be mature when people discuss these topics. Okay, real fast, it's important to note that I stand with the victims of rape, okay? Again, there's being in the divine order, there's not, but there's also, me understanding these situations. I stand with the rape victims and the child rape victims. I don't stand with people bullying them and making fun of them and trying to leverage that. People trying to use pictures to get them to be their sex slaves. I don't stand with that bullshit. I'm not with that human trafficking. I'm not even with the pimping or the strip clubs and the porn, none of that shit. I stand with the victims as the top martial artist ever, and I'm not afraid to tell you that I've been victimized in various ways. I haven't been held down and raped or something, but I've been victimized in various ways in sexual ways, sexual harassment, remote sexual violation, things like this, catfishing, okay? And shit is not cool. It is sick. There's a very sick society that won't stop the rapes. And without, trusting the government to do it behind the scenes by drugging people or something, that shit crazy. Hooking people to machines so they control who gets to rape and who doesn't, that's sick. And again, it's the wordplay, rape and tape, okay? Big Brother is watching. People are raping people and recording it and masturbating to it later, just flat out saying, this is a more raw video than other videos. I apologize if you can't handle it, and I don't apologize because it needs to be said. Okay? My entire life, they've been raping people all over the world where everyone's acting like a bitch or something, like a punk. And you see, I tell the truth about events that occurred in my life, and some bitch-ass motherfucker might say, oh, he should have done this, and that. What the fuck they're talking about? You know what I'm saying? It's like you're surrounded by straight killers with shanks, and someone says, fuck you looking at it. The smart thing to do is to just be a man and make a wise decision. I never went out like a punk. My decisions were always wise. And I'm not embarrassed to say that life is real. Life is a struggle. It's not a fairy tale. And your kids need to be warned. Adults need to be reminded. People need to stop drinking at bars like stupid fucks and find themselves getting drunk, driving and get killed. They need to stop drinking in a reckless manner. They say drink responsibly, and they take it fucking seriously. Part of the problem, people don't take this shit seriously. You know, if you don't plan your life, you don't move masterfully, you're victimized more. Part of the reason why they're on my bumper so much is because I refuse to be a victim, because I stand firm. And I face adversity, I face the victimizers. And they're like, fuck that, drug them, fuck that, throw them off. Throwing someone off is like throwing them off a fucking cliff. It's like throwing them under the bus. Throw them under, throw them off, that's their mentality. Right now, someone's probably getting fucking raped. Countless people probably getting catfished. Right fucking now. People getting abused and human trafficked. So probably got someone tied up in their cellar not too far away from here. Life is real. People just need to stop being sick motherfuckers. You need to stop being clown-ass demons. That's part of what that clown at the carousel symbolizes to me, is the core demon spirit of this kind of, these demons who are psychos and they're rapists and they think it's funny and they make narcissistic smirks, as faces. They smirk at people. They sneer. It's fucking pathetic. Stop abusing people. Okay? Take it from Jesus. Stop abusing people. Repent. I'm having kind of trouble speaking here, but what I'm saying is fucking important. The ideas that I'm talking about need to be taken seriously. And they're not being taken seriously. People are joining cults and they're giggling like bitches instead of addressing these problems that we have. And it's getting worse and worse, and it's continuing. Even if it continues at the same rate, what the fuck? It's getting worse because it should have been solved a long time ago. Okay. I didn't want to rant, so to speak, about this topic, but I think it was very important to drill that in there so people understand that this is my story that I put out there to help people understand what's going on, to understand that life is real, to accept who they are and choose what is right, and to try to perfect themselves while there's still time. I put out there to help you people. Not so you can make fun of me and try to pretend like you're bad and then I'm magically X, Y, and Z. Fuck all that shit. I'm the top martial artist ever possible. I will never, ever have anything to be ashamed of. Anyone who rallies and obeys God through me, I can bring them that same truth.